Updates on Josh Giddey and Jonathan Kuminga, plus Malik Beasley. Where is the hottest free agent that's realistically available on the market going to wind up? I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've said it before, but still 70% of you're not subscribed. Let's fix that. Hit that subscribe button. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, Jonathan Kuminga, this situation just needs to be sorted out by now. Come on, it's almost September already. Clock is ticking.
No, we need more things to talk about. Just keep the Kuminga stuff going, because every time that we're going to do a Kuminga update video, and we're going to have fun doing it. So keep it going. I don't care if it goes all the way until the very last day of the offseason leading into training camp.
Oh, Warriors fans hate you so much right now. They're like, can we please do something?
Could you imagine it takes that long? They're going to scram like, okay, all right, we're going to get with the span of like 20 minutes, we're going to get Kuminga. This is happening. And then boom, 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 boom.
Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton and all that. Yep.
Got to fly all these dudes in already. You might have already had to tell them, if you're the Warriors, in advance, hey, just stay in the Bay Area. Just we'll be calling you soon. Just
putting them up in a hotel next to the arena, right?
Right. Like, stay over here.
Sign.
Don't go anywhere, because we got training camp literally tomorrow.
They're rolling out a cot in the executive offices at the Chase Center.
We don't really see this situation where one thing is holding up all the transactions for one team. It's crazy.
Yep.
So
they
have all these guys in limbo, right? Like,
at least not that's like dragged on this long. But anyway, here's the update. It's from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, essentially saying that where we're stuck right now is Kuminga and his camp don't want to. They're kind of like coming to terms with the fact that he's going to be a Warrior this next season, that they're not going to be able to get a sign and trade done, which would have been, I believe, the preferred option. But the bottom line is that the Kuminga camp don't want to sign a deal that gives the Warriors control of his future, both financially and in terms of where he could be playing come February and into 2026. So what they don't want is a deal, which is right now what the Warriors want, a 2-year deal with a team option on the second year, and Jonathan Kuminga waives the inherent no trade clause that would come with that. So that would mean that the Warriors could decide whether or not they want to trade him in February, and the Warriors can decide whether or not they are going to keep him for the next season or whether he would hit free agency. Kuminga wants both of those things reversed. He wants control. He doesn't want to be a Warrior. If he says, hey, if I have to be a Golden State Warrior, I at least want to be in control of my future. So he's going to want to see a player option on the second year, if not a 3-year deal, plus not giving up that inherent no trade clause that would come with that 2-year deal that has an option on the second year. That's what Jonathan Kuminga wants to see. Right now, the Warriors aren't willing to budge on that because they want to be willing to trade him. So it's no longer a question of where he's going to play. It's more a question of who has the control. And remember, if Jonathan Kuminga is dead set on having control, he can have ultimate control just by picking up that qualifying offer and playing for about $8 million. And then he gets a no trade clause, and there's nothing the Warriors can do about that. And he'll hit free agency in 2026, and nothing the Warriors can do about that either. So here we are, Donnie, almost September, and control being the issue. Does Jonathan Kuminga just say, fine, forget it, I'm picking up the qualifying offer, and that's how we do this?
Do you want control that badly? And the reason I ask is because I understand it. I do. But for one, you don't have the financial security. I mean, You're millions of dollars, but you don't have the financial security you would have otherwise, right? It's a 1-year deal. You're in a situation where you're already getting DNPs. You already feel like you're being underutilized, and you're going to be going on the open market and expecting somebody to pay you 110% on potential. You may be in a situation where you spend a couple of years trying to work your way up to the ultimate contract you would like to have, and recouping the value lost over because you opted to take the qualifying offer. So I wonder about that. Like, do you want control that badly with all the other ripples that could come from that? But I do understand it. I do. Like, he doesn't want to be used as a pawn. It's just he's in a really particular situation where you're either going to take this money or you're not. And if you don't take it, all these other things could potentially happen. And that may wind up being to his benefit, right? Who knows what happens? Maybe the Warriors get into the season and they're forced to rely on him in a big, meaningful way. And then all of this, kind of goes away and he's able to get the amount of money he would want, maybe more, right? On the open market from a team next season. And then also another thing too, is there are teams that will have space, but there are also teams that are dead set on trying to maintain that space. So is that space going to be best used on a Kuminga? I guess that's a question too.
It's how much does he want to bet on himself? Because on a 2-year deal with the team option on the second year, if it's 45 million, which is the reported number, the only thing guaranteed to Jonathan Kuminga in that situation would be 22 million. So we're talking about 22 million versus 8 million. That's a big gap. Obviously that's a lot. I mean, that's a significant gap that we're talking about, almost 3 times the money. But there was a report that just came out like moments before we started recording this, that an exec compared Jonathan Kuminga to the situation that Paul George was in playing behind Danny Green in Indiana.
Granger.
Sorry, Danny Granger. Yes. Wrong Danny G. Danny Granger. Danny Green, fantastic as well. Not for Indiana, but
Granger was awesome too.
Danny Granger was fantastic. And so if Jonathan Kuminga sees himself that way, if that is the way that exec sees Kuminga playing behind Jimmy Butler with the Warriors, is similar to the Granger and Paul George situation. And Kuminga says, all I need is this chance, and I am the next star in the NBA. Now, do athletes sometimes have overinflated views of themselves? Sure, it can happen. But if he believes that that's really what he's going to be, then take the qualifying offer.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
your next contract's going to be a lot bigger. As long as you can prove that, teams will pay.
Yeah, I wasn't projecting him to all of a sudden be a star level player.
Yeah.
But if that happens, then great, right? But there's also still a possibility he takes this deal that the Warriors are offering him and they don't find a move for him in that entire span, and he's never able to really show that off either. That's possible. Like there's so many different ways this all could go. Some of them are beneficial, some of them aren't. But yeah, if he thinks he's going to be a star, which all indications are that, and I don't really have a problem with somebody having, high confidence in themselves. Obviously, that they have to have that confidence to get to this level in the first place. If he thinks he's going to do it, then I mean, I'm all for the drama. Go for it, man. I'm all for it. It's just, I think that could get kind of messy and it could potentially go wrong. But there's some inherent risk no matter what you do. So it could just be the best decision for him. But ultimately, though, that's the nuclear option, because the Warriors are not going to. I think the Warriors would be the first ones to balk in this, like before giving him the qualifying. They're going to say, okay, we'll take this team option off, or maybe we'll give you a little bit more money so you're okay with having,
before him taking the qualifying offer.
Yeah, they're going to figure something out, because that's the worst case scenario. They can't let that happen.
I think Kuminga would just give him an ultimatum and say, look, I'm signing the qualifying offer tomorrow unless you change this deal, right? Because that's still on the table, that qualifying offer, and it's still going to be there. I believe he's got till October to get that all sorted. So as long as that's there, he can wait out the Warriors and see if they improve their offer. And if they don't, then okay, then at the buzzer, take the qualifying offer, bet on yourself, and off you go.
Tell you what, at the literal buzzer too, because that way we could have the drama from the intro of the video. Hey, Al, you're still in town, right? Like, come on.
Come on. They'd have to be signing
your contract
really quickly, running into the. Well, I mean, they could sign whatever. But all right, let's get into, though, a situation that I think is much less contentious, and that is Josh Giddey. So a little update here. Again, from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, said speculation from area agents not affiliated with Giddey or the Bulls suggested a 3-year deal in the 65 to 70 million range is about what Josh Giddey is worth. Slightly more than the Bulls' 20 million stance. I still think, Donnie, when I look at this, if that's accurate, and if Josh Giddey has a realistic number in mind, and it's somewhere in that 70 million range on a 3-year deal, so again, slightly more than 20 million, and the Bulls are at 20 million, I still think a deal is going to get done. I mean, look, that if there's a deal to be had, it's expected to be a 4-year contract in the 80 to 90 million range. Maybe Josh Giddey says, I want 100. Well, you know what? You're not going to risk everything and take the qualifying offer over 10% when we're talking about 100 million versus 90 million. I feel pretty confident this ultimately gets. I don't know what's going to happen with Kuminga. He could wind up taking the qualifying offer. I feel pretty confident that Josh Giddey will get a deal. It's too close to not get something done.
I mean, are you sure? Because you're talking about Kings East here. Like, I don't.
That's true. And maybe Giddey says, no, I want 30 million. Maybe. Maybe it's farther apart. But you're right. It is Kings East.
I don't know, but yeah, I would say that I think that he is much less likely, like simply because I think that he wants to stay there. They want to keep him. I think it's the exact opposite in Golden State. They just kind of have to figure something out because they can't let Kuminga the asset go. But I think this is the entirely opposite scenario. Now, you could get to a point where you're overpaying for Josh,
Sure.
excuse me. But if you think that he can turn into a player that's worth this, then I don't really see a problem with it. I just think that with Giddey, he is a interesting player because he's like a Swiss Army knife type player. He kind of flashed the 3-ball last year, but I need a couple seasons of him to see if it's real or not, because he was just not great at it prior to that. And I think he really needs a particular type of player around him. And he also really wants to be like an on-ball, high usage type of player to really show what he can do. And so maybe there's just also a lot of too much of a glut with the guard situation there to really maximize Giddey and let him grow into a player that potentially could be worth $30 million or up, 25 or something like that. So there's some questions there, but if you think you can build around him, then.
Did you know that Josh Giddey averaged a triple-double in the final month of the season?
and a Hail Mary game winner from half court too.
Yeah. Well, by the way, the final month of the season though was April, and it was only 4 games. But it's not as misleading as I am not trying to fool everybody. Look at the month
because
before.
Giddey is good. Like people actually don't think he's good. He's very good. He can do a little bit of everything out there.
20, 9.6, and 9. Like he gives you a little bit of everything. And look at the 36% from 3, 40% from 3. He shot well enough, 54%. You're not getting that out of him again. 54% from 3, at least not over an entire season. But he's legitimately good, and he really got things going. You can see where he was. He turned the corner once we got past the trade deadline. You see 10 points per game here, and then boom, he's going up 20 points, 20 points, 20. But now, was that he just was finishing strong, knowing he was getting into free agency and he was going all out of it? But still, there's real talent here. That's the point. Yeah, the Bulls traded for him. They're not going to want to let him go. I don't think he wants to go. And I think ultimately they'll find a deal. And
look at the rebounding in April. My God,
it's
19,
insane.
16. He's going crazy, man.
Does he have a case? Does he have a case for being worth $30 million?
Well, that's why I said, like, if you think he can, if he's going to have the ball enough to develop into that type of player, like if a player averages 17, 8, and 8, I think they're worth 30 million. Like if he's a 17, 8, and 8 guy, I think they're worth 30 million.
I think it comes down to how much do you buy the final 3 months of the season?
Yeah.
For Josh, do you buy that that's what he is?
Short. Like because he was better than 17 for the last couple months. He wasn't 8 and 8, but let's say 17, 7 and 6, 17, 7, 7, 18, 7, like something in that range. I
1776. Yeah.
I think that type of player is probably worth that today. It's just you also have to account for the other end, which he's not particularly great there.
Correct.
But I mean, still, like that's a level of creation that I think most teams would love to have. And then the rebounding is a solid skill too.
Yeah. I think that he's a good player. He's a good find for the Bulls here. Alex Caruso did his job, won a championship in OKC. So that, that was an expensive price to pay, but that just adds to the amount of, pot committed that the Bulls are here. They've spent significant asset to get him. I don't think there's any chance they're going to let him go.
In hindsight, were people too down on that trade? Just really quick.
If Josh Giddey is what he was over the final 3 years, then yes. I'm sorry, 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. Then yes. If he's the 10 and 7 guy on so to bad percentages, then no, you're right. It depends on what you believe he will be moving forward.
What is that? Lonzo averages?
Yeah, kind of.
Because that's low key. Like Lonzo's a better passer, of course.
Right, but Lonzo's also a better passer, better defender too.
Yeah, and more reliable shooter, I guess I would say at this point in their careers. Of course, Lonzo developed that pretty well, but that's like Lonzo averages overall, though. So I don't know, but yeah, Caruso. That's just more so about Caruso. He is such a star in his role, man. He is absolutely worth everything they get. They could have got much more for Caruso, I think, at the time, even with the fact that I think that people were low on the trade.
How did you do a trade with a team that has all the picks and get 0 picks. I still don't know. Kings Giddey, right? East. Kings East.
They're just so high on. That's why I said, are people? I think people are low on it, but I still think they should have got something in terms of like picks back, because Caruso was literally one of the most important pieces that turned them into a championship team. Like he was indispensable to them.
He fit perfect there too, and we knew he was going to.
And Giddey was an awkward fit, so they really went up with that. So I don't know, but if Giddey can turn into a mid-teens guy with scoring and high numbers like 7 or 8 for rebounds and assists, maybe he's a guy that could be worth that. But I mean, it's not just 30 million, it's in the 20s as well. You could be 25, 24. Yeah, those contracts also look better as the years go on. So
yeah. All right, let's get into Malik Beasley. So Beasley, now, I mean, there's been some conflicting reports on how much trouble he could still be in. Is he, was it more of an issue with semantics in terms of the phrasing? Is he a target in this investigation or not? But the bottom line is, it does seem like Malik Beasley is a much more intriguing free agent candidate here than he was back on whatever that was, June 29th, I think it was, that the news came out, effectively ending his free agency, that he was involved in this investigation. But now we've got the Pistons have interest in him. The Cavs have interest in him. The Knicks have interest in him as well. So there are a number of teams that are interested in bringing in Malik Beasley and allowing him to become their, whether it's a starter or shooter off the bench, probably shooter off the bench in most of these cases. But the market, I think the landing spots will be fairly robust. The question is just going to be, how much is he willing to take? Is he willing to go someplace that can allow him to win by taking a veteran minimum? Does he want to go back to Detroit? And now he's got to deal with Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, Javonte Green. Like, they've added pieces. Does he have the same role in Detroit? I think that this is going to be a fascinating decision for Malik Beasley. Does he try to maximize his value by playing for less on a team that can feature him a little bit more, perhaps, and win? He take the money.
He's taking the bag. He's absolutely taking the thing is that,
so Brooklyn then.
If Brooklyn's going to offer him all the bag, he's going to Brooklyn.
They've got like 15 million they can offer.
The craziest thing about all this is, regardless of how this goes, because all the things you mentioned earlier, he ultimately lost out on a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
He lost out on a ton of money.
The Pacers as well, I should note.
So he is in a situation where he may be looking at it like, man, because he was probably going to get what, 40 million?
He was supposed to get it was going to be a 3-year, I believe, $42 million deal.
He's looking at it like, dude, this whole thing screwed me out of all that amount of money.
Yep.
And so I think he's probably going to take the most he can get, which is what, that 7.2.
Yeah. That's the most he can get from Detroit. There are other teams that can offer more.
Yeah.
There are teams that can go above that, but they're not necessarily teams that would give him. I think Detroit is the sweet spot of more than a minimum salary plus the opportunity to win. But now he's got to compete with Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, Javonte Green. Now Tim Hardaway Jr. is gone, but is his path, if we're talking a 1-year deal here, is his path to minutes a concern in Detroit? And then does that cause problems for him cashing in on his next deal?
How many? I don't know. Because his value is shooting the ball. Like he can show you his value in 20 minutes a night.
Yeah, but he did it. His big thing last season was he was a high volume, over 9 attempts per game, while still shooting at a high percentage. High volume and high percentage 3-point shooter. How are you going to put a volume if you're not on the floor?
But what do you mean? Malik gets in and he instantly chops. I saw him do it all the time. What are you talking?
Especially late in games.
Man, the ball finds his hands and it's going up. He played 28 minutes per game last year and shot 9.3 threes. Like that. That's an insane amount of volume.
He's getting up a 3 like every 3 minutes.
He has no problem getting a 3 up. He's getting that ball. It's going right up. So like
no conscience.
I think if he plays 23, 24 minutes, he may shoot 8 threes a game. Ooh, big whoop. But like he's still going to average, similar efficiency if he keeps the ball going the same way. And his value isn't going to change. So
I think ultimately, if I'm Malik Beasley, the way I play this, I say Detroit, I had a big year last year. I'll come back. I'll take the 7.2 million, but I want that deal again next year, but with a player option. I want a player option for next year, 7.2 million. 7, whatever, give me the 8% raise off of that for next year with a player option. That way I have another big year. I can hit free agency. If not, at least I know I'm guaranteed a minimum of 14 million coming my way.
That's a good idea for sure. If they're willing to play ball like that, that's a good idea. I wonder about Indiana, because with Indiana, I mean, you could maybe say, we'll sign you for now, but we're really looking towards the following season when we're fully healthy and all that. I wonder if they'd be able to offer him more money the following season if he has a good first year with them. But because he would be a nice piece on that team alongside Tyrese.
He definitely would be in the long haul. And Halliburton already talking about how it's going to be 15 months before he can step on the basketball court until he can actually return to playing again. So he's out for the season, right? He's not going to play. But ideally, Beasley's the kind of guy you'd want to put alongside Halliburton. Now, maybe not defensively, but you've got some other guys on that roster. He'd be, if you could pick him up now,
man. The shooting is 9 threes a game. Just shoot. I'll take it. They may give up 15 points, but they're going to score 25. I'll take it.
I just want, like, Indiana kind of cheaped out on paying Miles Turner. Are they going to want to commit money here when they've already got Neesmith, Nembhard? They've already got pieces there. What does that mean for Ben Mathurin? Players like that in Indiana. But you know what? Ultimately, I still think when the dust settles, he goes back to the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I think that's still the best destination for him, regardless of the other guys that came in there. And then I think after this upcoming season with the Duncan Robinson situation, isn't that following season not even guaranteed?
Yeah, it's only $2 million guaranteed on the second year of Duncan Robinson's deal.
If Beasley could be in a situation where he's right back in that primary role, not fighting for minutes or anything like that in a season. So I'm not really too worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see Malik Beasley has a big year this year, waves goodbye to Jimmy Neutron next summer, and there you go. He's right back into that.
God damn it. You didn't have to do that. You did.
I had to. Hey,
I'm surprised you know Jimmy. He's not your era. He's mine.
That's true. I pick up a few things every now and then.
Oh, my God.
Every now and then. All right, everybody. Give us your thoughts in the comments down below. What's going to happen with Jonathan Kuminga? Does he take the qualifying offer? And what about this aspect of control? Kuminga wants control. The Warriors want control. Who is ultimately going to win in that battle? What about Josh Giddey? Is he actually the near triple-double guy we saw over the final 3 months of the season? Or is he what we saw before that? And how do the Bulls reconcile that when they're offering him this contract? And then where will Malik Beasley wind up? Again, don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel, the podcast as well. You can find the link in the description down below. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.